The hidden island of Coralstone. In a small coastal village, there was an old legend about a hidden island called Coralstone. It was said that the island appeared only once every 100 years, filled with ancient treasures and magical creatures. Most people thought it was just a myth, but Eli and Lila believed in the legend with all their hearts. They were two adventurous best friends who loved exploring the seaside, and this summer, they had decided to find Coralstone Island. Eli was a curious boy with curly brown hair and a love for the ocean. He could spend hours watching the waves and searching for seashells. Lila, his best friend, had long blonde hair and a fierce determination. She loved solving riddles and exploring hidden places. Together, they were the perfect team for finding a legendary island. One sunny afternoon, while they were walking along the beach, Eli noticed something strange. The tide had pulled back farther than usual, revealing a cluster of strange rocks that neither of them had ever seen before. "Look at that," Eli called, pointing to the rocks. "I've never seen those here before." Lila, always ready for an adventure, raced over. "It's a clue. I bet it has something to do with Coralstone Island." As they approached the rocks, they noticed something even more unusual, a shimmering piece of coral embedded in the sand. Lila knelt down and touched it gently. Suddenly, the coral began to glow, and a soft, melodic voice filled the air. "Seek the light at sunset, when the sea whispers its secret." Eli and Lila exchanged excited glances. "This is it," Eli said. "The legend is real." For the rest of the day, they prepared for their journey. They packed a small bag with snacks, a flashlight, and Eli's old compass, just in case. As the sun began to set, they returned to the spot where they had found the glowing coral. The sky turned a brilliant shade of orange and pink, and the sound of the waves crashing against the shore grew louder, as if the sea itself was calling to them. Just as the last rays of sunlight touched the horizon, the water began to shimmer. A path of glowing light appeared on the surface of the ocean, stretching far into the distance. "There it is," Lila whispered in awe. "The path to Coralstone Island." Without hesitation, they stepped into a small rowboat and began to follow the glowing path across the sea. The water was calm, and the moonlight reflected off the waves, guiding them toward their destination. After what felt like hours of rowing, they spotted something on the horizon, a shadowy shape rising from the water. "It's Coralstone Island," Eli said, his heart racing with excitement. As they reached the shore, they pulled their boat onto the sandy beach and looked around in amazement. The island was unlike anything they had ever seen. Tall cliffs made of sparkling coral surrounded a lush jungle filled with strange plants that glowed softly in the dark. The air was warm and filled with the scent of salt water and flowers. "This place is magical," Lila whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. But they knew they had to keep moving. According to the legend, the island's treasures were hidden deep within a cave at the center of the island. Together, they ventured into the jungle, following the soft glow of the coral that lit their path. Along the way, they encountered all sorts of magical creatures, glowing sea turtles that swam through the air, sparkling jellyfish that hovered above the ground, and tiny, glittering birds that flitted between the trees. Every step they took brought them closer to the heart of Coralstone. Finally, they arrived at the entrance of the Crystal Cavern, a large cave carved into the side of a cliff. The walls of the cavern shimmered with thousands of crystals, casting rainbows of light in every direction. In the center of the cave stood a large stone pedestal, and on top of it lay a single glowing pearl. "This must be it," Eli said, stepping forward cautiously. "The treasure of Coralstone." As they reached for the pearl, the ground beneath them began to tremble. Suddenly, the shimmering crystals above them shifted, and a deep, rumbling voice echoed through the cavern. "To claim the pearl, you must answer the question of the sea. What treasures cannot be held in your hands, but are more precious than gold?" Eli and Lila thought for a moment, the riddle echoing in their minds. Then Lila smiled. "I know the answer," she said softly. "The treasures we found today: friendship, adventure, and memories. You can't hold them, but they're worth more than anything." The rumbling stopped, and the cavern filled with a soft, golden light. The voice spoke again, this time gently. "You are wise, young adventurers. The true treasure of Coralstone is not riches, but the bond you share and the journey you've taken." With that, the glowing pearl lifted into the air and burst into a shower of sparkling light. The cavern glowed brighter, and the path behind them began to shimmer, leading them back to their boat. As they rowed back toward the mainland, the island of Coralstone slowly faded into the mist, disappearing as the sun began to rise. But Eli and Lila knew that they had discovered something far more valuable than gold or jewels. They had shared an adventure that would last forever in their hearts. From that day on, whenever they walked along the beach, they would smile, knowing that Coralstone Island was out there, waiting for the next adventurers to find its secret.